Welcome back to the Content Marketing Playbook. I'm your host, Josh Culler, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you can leverage transcriptions and closed captions in your content marketing in order to boost the results of whether it's your video or your audio. Now, a lot of times people think of the written word as when you're actually literally just sitting on a computer typing and you're typing a blog or an article or something like that. And that's all true. But what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of times when a blog goes out or an article goes out, it used to not be this way, but a lot of times what will happen is the writer will actually speak into a podcast mic or a phone or something like that, something that's going to just pick up audio and then actually have somebody transcribe it, go in and edit it so that it sounds like it was written, and then get posted. So this is a very powerful method of actually getting written content out on the web for your content marketing. And I'll explain to you kind of how why it's important to have this kind of content out there and then how you can actually leverage it. It's a lot easier than you think it is. And the reason why I'm such a fan of this is because you can actually leverage the content that you already have, whether it is video or audio, to get more results from this. And it doesn't take much more effort to do it. It's not like you're having to record a video. Like, for instance, I'm recording this video right now on using the written word and leveraging transcriptions and closed captions to up your content marketing game. I'm recording this video, and if I want it in written form, I don't have to go back and write this content. I can just have it transcribed, have an editor go in, clean it up, and then it's good to go. So I'm going to teach you guys how you can do that and why it's important to. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you have subscribed to the Content Marketing Playbook on all platforms, no matter where you're listening. And I'd much appreciate that. I do want to talk about a really quick thing that we've got going on in Color Media called REI.Video. If you're a real estate investor or if you're a realtor, any professionals in the real estate investing or realtor space, you can leverage this platform. So it's called REI.Video, brand new platform that we just put out, where you can actually go in, have your raw video, whether you're doing a property walkthrough, a testimonial video, or videos for your website or whatever. You film your own video, you can send it over to REI.Video. We do the heavy lifting, which is the editing, the post-production, all that stuff for you. We can add closed captions, we can add video wrappers, whatever else you want added to the actual video, we can do that. You get unlimited revisions and it's sent back to you in 48 hours. So it's awesome, awesome way to get your video content game up and running. Really, anybody that's listening to this, any industry, you could submit it there. But many of you know, for me, I'm actually niched into the real estate investing space. And so that's why I named it REI.Video. But we got other platforms in the works for those of you who are not in the investing space. But for now, it still works the same way. But you can go to REI.Video. On your first order, type in first vid in the coupon code section. Or the discount code, whatever it's called, and you get 50% off your first order. So make sure you take advantage of that. One more time, REI.Video is up and running. So let's talk about the topic for today, which is, and if you hear any clicking, it's because I'm going back and forth between Facebook and my notes here because I want to make sure I stay on track. So let's talk about this. Using transcriptions and closed captions in your content marketing, again, a very important method for getting content out there. Now, let's talk about why. There's two reasons why I think this is important and why I love doing this. The first thing is because the biggest reason is obviously we do content marketing to get results. And results are driven by people actually finding your content. And one of those ways is through search engines, just like Google or Bing, Yahoo, however else you use search engines. Typically you think of Google primarily. That's why it's important, is because the search engines will actually search for written word and text, and that plays a very heavy part in people actually finding your content. Now, I don't know much about this specifically, and you could go into a lot of detail, and somebody that is familiar with SEO more than I am might be able to talk about this more. But what I've heard is that the video platforms like Facebook and YouTube will actually take your closed captions and scrape that for data in order, if somebody searches something specifically on the web, they'll scrape your videos for the closed captions and actually bump that into the search results. So that's probably the core foundational reason as to why this is important, is because of this reason, is because you want people to find your content, and just putting a good title on your video is not enough a lot of times. So if you have that transcription in your content or the closed captions in your video content or your audio, then you're highly more likely to get found. And that's keyword and key phrase searches. So that's important. The next reason is because, and this is a little bit more something that people don't think about a lot, is that a lot of times people would rather read content as opposed to watching the video or listening to the audio. Now, I know we're in a day and age, you're preaching the choir here, right? I do video content. That's what my company does. That's my core business, is video content. So I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying that every once in a while, maybe you're sitting in church, speaking of preaching to the choir, you're sitting in church when we go back to it after this whole pandemic, but you're sitting in church, or you're sitting on a bus, or you're sitting somewhere where if you open a video and you play the video, maybe you don't have headphones with you, you're not going to watch that content. You're not going to consume that content because people, you don't want people hearing it alongside of you. So if you had that transcription below the video, you're more than likely to read that as opposed to watching the video. Now, I know closed captions play a big piece of this. This is why closed captions are huge, is because if you're watching a video, but you're not in a place where you can have the volume pumped up and you can listen to it, but you can read the captions, people are still going to engage with the video just like they would if they were actually hearing it. So this is why it's important. These are two reasons why transcriptions and closed captions are important for your content marketing. Let's talk about how do you actually leverage this. There's several tips that I'm gonna give you here, and to be honest with you, there's not really a rhyme or reason or a storyline as to using this, right? I'm just gonna throw these tips out there for you, how Color Media and our clients actually use these transcriptions and closed captions for their content marketing, and then you can take these and implement them in your content marketing as well. Now, again, specifically talking about transcriptions, let me just tell you what a transcription is and a closed caption. So a transcription is basically, you can take a video or an audio. So like this podcast right now is going out on audio. It's on Audition here, and it's also video. I'm recording it as video, so this will go out to Facebook and YouTube and all these video platforms. But basically a transcription is taking this, uploading it to a platform. I'm going to suggest temi.com, which I'll talk about that here in a second. But you upload it to temi.com or rev.com, however you get transcriptions, and then they transcribe the entire video, send it back to you in like a Word or a text document, and it's just literally the entire, everything that you said is just in written form, and that's it. And then and you just got to be a little careful. You don't want to take that exactly how it is and then post that, because you'll have ahs, and it just doesn't sound the same. Just like I stuttered right there, that's going to be in the transcription. So you want to go in and edit that. So that's basically what a transcription is. Closed captions, the difference is the closed captions are basically like if you ever watch a video and the words are scrolling across the screen, the bottom of the screen, that's what's called closed captions. So that's the difference here. And closed captions, again, the benefits of that is that if somebody can't actually watch the video where they're at right now, and people a lot of times, because of the way Facebook and Instagram has built these videos out, when you're scrolling through your feed, the video will automatically play, but the audio won't be activated, and you actually have to click on the video to activate the audio. This is where closed captions come in very powerfully, is because of that reason specifically. So let's talk about this. This is one way to get the most out of your video and your audio. I'm going to give you, again, a few tips on how we're actually using this and some creative things that you can do to pump this out. The first thing is add captions to your YouTube and your Facebook videos. Now, the video that I'm doing right now, I don't suggest this to all videos. I think anything over, I would say 15 minutes. Sometimes I would even say 10 minutes. Any videos that are going to be over 10 minutes, 15 minutes long, it's kind of not worth it to do the captions, just because somebody's not going to sit there for 10 minutes reading captions without actually having the audio on. That's just not going to happen. Now, if it's a 60-second or less video, maybe it's between 60 seconds or 0 seconds and 5 minutes, I would highly, highly suggest having the captions on. And these two platforms, YouTube and Facebook, which are very heavy video platforms, they can actually auto-generate your captions for you. Now, you can do it in a way you can submit it to a transcription platform and they can shoot it back to you in what's called an SRT file. And YouTube and Facebook give you the options to be able to upload that SRT file, and then it'll have everything time-stamped for you so that it places the caption exactly where, my mouth is moving and saying the word. You can do that. But I think it's easier just to do the auto generate, and it's not going to be 100% accurate, just so you know. I think you can go into YouTube and Facebook and edit those captions. I don't know if I would recommend doing that unless it's a video that you really want to be perfect. But you can auto generate those captions on YouTube and on Facebook. And again, I highly suggest doing that for anything that's under 5 minutes long, because of the fact that the search engines will scrape that data and pull that into the search capabilities of the platforms when somebody searches a specific key phrase or term that you're doing a video on. So for instance, if I'm doing a video on the power of written word in your content marketing, if I'm doing that video and I upload like a 5-minute clip out of this, I repurpose my content and I upload a 5-minute clip to YouTube, then if somebody searches how to leverage transcriptions in my video, if my video is closed captioned and it has closed captions on it, the actual platform, the search engines, Google will scrape those closed captions for that data when somebody searches it. So it's more likely to pull up my video. So hopefully that makes sense. I know that's a lot of going on in circles, but I just want to establish that. So add captions to your YouTube videos and Facebook videos. Anything under 5 minutes, I recommend doing it. Anything between 5-10 minutes, use your discretion. And anything over 10 minutes, I would say it's not worth it. And then the next thing is so how do you get these transcribed? So very simply, I use temi.com, TEMI.com to transcribe all of our video content and audio content. The reason I use this over any other platform is because of the accuracy, the price, and the turnaround. So I know a lot of people use rev.com, REV.com, and they were kind of the biggest in the industry at first. And I discovered them, 3-4 years ago. And then I told everybody about them and everybody else started using it. So here's the trick, is that when you actually purchase on temi.com, Temi is owned by rev.com. So if you pay for it, you get the receipt. It says charged to rev.com. So that's the trick. For some reason, they decided to do 2 different platforms, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just testing the market or whatever, but I'm certain they use the same APIs, because the reason being is because I found that the accuracy in the actual transcription is extremely similar. So rev.com is $1 a minute, and I think the turnaround times are like 24 hours or 48 hours, whereas temi.com is 25 cents a minute. They actually bumped their price. They used to be 10 cents a minute, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. So I ate it all up, but they bumped it to 25 cents a minute. Still totally worth it. But the turnaround times are like, normally I get the transcription, depending on the length, in like 4 or 5 minutes. So that is awesome. That like literally I can upload my transcription right now and then go back, refresh my page, and sometimes the video transcription will be there. I also like the usability in temi.com, because you can go in and you can have the video playing and literally the words will bounce around as they're saying the video, and you can go in and edit. And then when you export the document from temi.com, when you export it as a Word doc or a text doc or even an SRT, you can actually have them remove any extra verbiage like or any pauses or breaks in the actual transcription. You can have all of that removed. So that is super cool and useful. So you don't have to go in and edit. If somebody sucks on video and they say 300 times, you don't have to go in and edit and pull every single one of those out. Temi will actually do that for you. So I suggest Temi. I think it's awesome. I love it. Again, 25 cents a minute. And we just placed an order the other day, I believe on Sunday, where I'm actually going to be taking, so I have another podcast called REI, the REI Marketing Weekly, and we're going to be creating a book out of that. And it's literally just taking all the transcriptions from our podcast episodes, and we're going to be organizing that content. So I have a person an editor, a copywriter on my team, who we transcribed all the episodes and spent like, $230 on the transcriptions. So she's going to go in and clean all that up, organize the content. We're going to create an entire book out of that. So that's the possibilities of transcriptions and repurposing your content and juicing out the most out of it. So that's what we're going to be doing. So maybe I'll talk about that here in a second, but create the next tip that I have for you is to create written articles and books from the audio video. I just gave you the example of what we're going to be doing, but I've done this before, where we actually take written or audio podcasts like what we're doing now, transcribing those episodes and creating entire books out of those. So if you guys don't know, I should have grabbed it, but Tools of Titans or Tribe of Mentors by Tim Ferriss, both of those books, they're like that thick, literally like they're like 5-pound books. Those are just interviews from his show, the Tim Ferriss show. That's all it is. And then if you take like Gary Vaynerchuk, he has the Gary V book. That's just transcriptions from his show, Ask Gary V, the Ask Gary V book. That's all it is a transcription. Hold on one second. Just hang tight for just a second. If you're on video, I'm going to show it to you. Give me one sec here. So this is Gary V's book. I got Tools of Titans in the other room, but this is his book. Look at this. This is, if you're on audio, I mean, go check the book out, but this is, I don't know, 350 pages of just transcribed shows, episodes from his show, and create an entire book out of it. And that's the power of the transcriptions, and that's what we're going to be doing. So everybody that we've interviewed on our REI Marketing Weekly show, I'm going to be creating a book that's literally called the REI Marketing, like the REI Marketing book or something. I haven't decided the title, but that's all it is. The content, 100% of the content is going to be from our podcast episodes, and it's just juicing out the most content, and it's really cheating, but it's so efficient. It's a smart use of the content. So that's what you can do. And then if you want to go even deeper, what you could do is, if you're a direct to seller, marketing person, just shoot a short video, have that transcribed, turn that into an ebook. And like, these are just things that you could do, or even a short little pamphlet that you could hand to a customer. So that's the power of transcriptions, and what you can actually do with it is and then create articles. That's a no-brainer. Like, create articles out of your transcriptions. What I would suggest is taking that, have your video transcribed, send it. I'll just give you a tip of what we do. We send this to either our copywriter on our team, or if she's overworked, then I send it to Fiverr.com. Yes, I use Fiverr.com. Send it to Fiverr.com, have an editor go in and clean it up a little bit and organize the content so that it sounds like it's written. Spend like, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks on that, and then post that to your website as an article. That's a good way. That's a good way to use that kind of content. So those are just the ideas that you could do. And then the last tip that I have here is, on your website, transcribe your videos, go in and lightly edit it, and then put on that same page. So let's just say, for instance, again, I work with a lot of real estate investors. What you should be doing is create a video specifically talking about how to get out of pre-foreclosure, right? And your video is you talking about how to get out of pre-foreclosure. So you're literally just talking about it. You just let it go for 3-5 minutes. Take that video, get it transcribed, throw the entire transcription. So on one web page, you'll have the video on top. That's the first thing they'll see. Below that is the entire transcription of that video. And again, the reason why you're doing this is because of search engines, because they're going to scrape those keywords and phrases. So you want to make sure that it's edited correctly. Spend 15, 20 bucks on that. And then below that, you'll have, the call to action, the button, and that kind of thing. So these are just, I highly recommend doing that, just because that's extra content that's on your page, but it's relevant content to the actual video. So those are the tips that I have for transcriptions and closed captions. Again, these are extremely powerful marketing tools that you can use just to amp up your marketing, your content marketing, and get the most out of it, and juice out every bit of potential that you can out of every single piece of content. This is what me and my team do on a daily basis, is we juice out as much content as possible, and reach the full potential on every single piece of content that goes out. And these are one of the ways that you can do that. So once that book comes out, I'm going to show it to you. I'm excited about this. We actually just started working on it this weekend. My copywriter's going in and we've already got all the transcriptions from the podcast episodes, and she's going to go in and create the entire book out of it. And so I'm excited about it, but it's going to be good. And this is something I've done 4 or 5 times, and it is just awesome. One of the most efficient ways. So I'm not having to go in and edit everything. And the cool thing about this, just a little side note, rabbit trail for you. The cool thing about what I'm doing with that is that once that book is created, I'm going to send that book to every single guest that I have on the show, and then have them promote the book. And the book is just a marketing tool. I'm not looking to be a #1 bestseller. It's just to establish myself as an authority in this space. And I'm going to have every single guest that I've had on the show, I've had some incredible guests, promote my book because they are featured in my book. Tapping into other people's networks. So that's what I got going on, and you guys just stay tuned for that. But hey, I am done with this episode for today, so I appreciate you guys jumping on and joining me. But thank you for joining me for the Content Marketing Playbook today. If you guys have any questions, reach out to me, josh@colormedia.com, or if you're listening on social media, you could connect with me there. If you have any questions, if you want me to cover any topics specifically on content marketing, please do not hesitate to reach out to me and let me know. I would love some feedback. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, head over there, leave me a review. I would much appreciate that. And that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.